I don't want to talk about miracles. I want to talk about Hobbes and myself, and read you some syllabi that I've taught, and read you some course reviews, student opinion surveys. I can't just leave the miracles discussion where I left it, though. So, last thing. Miracles are used to lend authority to a religion. So we should think about this, and we should think about it in two kind of contexts. One, there's miracles that kind of establish the religion, right? Like what's recorded in the Bible, for instance. And then miracles, miracles of the text itself, right? Muhammad receiving the Quran from Gabriel. Anyway, so we've got miracles that establish a religion, but we also have miracles that are experienced kind of collectively and corporately. So let me start here. Let me read a little passage from Pascal. I see many contrary religions, and so all of them false but one. Got to think about what a religion is, what a religion does, what it claims. The way, got things to say about that, but I can't say them now. Each of them wants to be believed on its own authority and threatens unbelievers. I do not therefore believe them on that account. Anyone can say this, anyone can call himself a prophet, but I see Christianity where I find prophecies, and this is not something anyone can do. Of course, anyone can, right? People on the internet make their own prophecies and fulfill them and claim, so yeah, people can do that, sure. The funny thing here is that Pascal seems to think that his religion is the only one with revealed prophecies. And even if we say his religion or your church is the only one where there's like real miracles, or people who believe like you, right? That you go and experience some miracles at a religious service, and then, of course, you've met God, right? Of course, this must be real. Okay, so let's think about that in a couple different contexts. One, sure, right? If you're going and receiving a miracle, having a religious experience, and seeing yourself as communing with God, I don't want to necessarily take that away. But notice that people with competing religions compete. I don't like that. Don't compete. Religions should not be competitive. Any kind of knowledge gathering, wisdom giving, community resources, don't compete, right? Doctrine, I think, is all about competition, villainizing mental health care, even things like, tarot readings. I mean, it's all competition. Don't go to anywhere. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's all competition. Don't go anywhere that can give you the same things that we can give you, right? Okay, so watch out for that. You feel like you're experiencing God. You feel like you are having, a deep mystical religious experience. Please remember that people feel that feeling, and I'm not saying it's false, but people feel that feeling from within lots of different competing religions. So don't let that experience be just another wedge, just another chip in this game of I'm competing for all the... Anyway, don't let that be, some bargaining chip that your religion has over you. Okay, second, we should understand how humans work. And this is boring, right? You don't need to hear this from me, because there's all kinds of other people, anthropologists, for instance, T.M. Lerman. This is a good one. I couldn't stop putting it down, right? I'm only a few pages in, because every time I have to just stop and keep reading that paragraph over and over again, right? So there are facts about our psychology. There are facts about corporate experiences. There are facts about working ourselves up into a state of mind, right? runner's highs, rock concert experiences, lots of things, lots of ways where we can get different kind of chemicals working in our minds to give us a different kind of experience. So, this isn't to say that mystical experiences are false, or that mystical experiences are meaningless, or that you shouldn't go out pursuing mystical experiences. The only point that I think is really worth making about miracles is that they don't really function well as evidence. They don't really function well as evidence. It works the other way around, right? So Hume spends a lot of time talking about the miracles in the Bible. And this is kind of like related to the Lord, Liar, Lunatic argument that I'm sure... Is it in C.S. Lewis in Mere Christianity? I don't know. I used to think better of C.S. Lewis than that. This seems like John McDowell shit. But anyway, if Jesus says that he's God, and then the disciples, the apostles, say that Jesus is God and resurrected and everything, and then they get killed, you're supposed to only have three options of how to interpret this. Either these apostles who get killed are crazy because they think Jesus is God and he's not. They don't write like crazy people is how the argument goes. Crazy. Do normal people write well? Anyway. Or they're liars. Who's gonna lie? Who's gonna die for a lie, says the argument. Well, Hume's gonna ask us. Okay, so those are the... Sorry, my ADHD is, I don't know. So, if they're not lunatics and they're not liars, then it must be that Jesus is God, right? That's how the argument goes. How does Hume's argument regarding miracles treat this? This is real easy, right? Do you have experience of encountering God in the flesh and God being raised from the... Not only is this so far outside of your experience, it is... I mean, the Bible itself will tell you this is foolish. This is crazy. Like, the Jewish tradition that Christianity came out of, it says God being human. That's nonsense. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so what makes more sense? Someone being crazy and writing like a prophet? Prophets are crazy anyway, right? So already, yeah, that makes some sense. Or that they're liars and they died for their lies. Do you really not have any experience of people dying for a lie? I mean, it's not that hard to believe. It's not that hard to believe. And I'm sure if we thought real careful through the history, we'd find some examples, right? But again, it's just comparing. Like, do you have experience of people being wrong? Do you have experience of God being man, right? So it doesn't work that way. Now, it can work the other way, right? If you are in the religion and you have some reason to be in the religion, then that gives you reason to treat the text as special in some way, or to treat the religion as special in some way, as having some kind of authority. Now, it's going to be up to you. I think it's up to you to figure out what kind of authority you want to give that, and to figure out how you want that to sit with the rest of the things that you know. What is your reason's job if you're accepting some things on faith? Actually, what even is that faith? Okay, so it doesn't really work to say, hey, look, the Bible's full of miracles and an amazing text on its own, so therefore I know there's a God. Therefore I know it's true. That doesn't work. It does go the other way around a bit, right? If you've got reasons to be in the religion, then absolutely, you can say, hey, I've got reasons to be in the religion, so I have reasons to believe that these events are important, that they mean something to me. Maybe that's historical importance. I think that's a question for people who know history more than just people who read the Bible very carefully. People who do both, right? So there's ways you could take it. I, having studied Leibniz a lot, found myself gravitating towards the ELCA tradition, which is kind of a funny thing. I mean, it's not a funny thing. It's just that it's the biggest Lutherans in the world. But it takes, generally, takes this kind of stance, at least what I found in my experience, of the Bible's important, and we don't really know what it means. That's kind of what Tom Lennon says about Bayle, which is funny. Pierre Bayle. I'm going to say a bit more about Pierre Bayle real soon, because when we talk about faith and reason, Thomas Aquinas is going to be the one who says faith should be reasonable. It might go beyond reason, but it should be reasonable. Pierre Bayle is going to be the one who says you should have faith instead of reason. You should have faith instead of reason. What do we make of that? It's fun stuff. Interesting. I mean, I find this empowering. I hope you find it the same.